Greetings, Taurus. This is your reading, general reading for this new moon on the 1st, which is today, 1st of February, new moon in Aquarius. Random read from another favourite resource book, Bullfinch's Mythology. Just going to read a sentence for you. Taurus, here we go. We've opened it up. It's Arion. The poets whose adventures compose this chapter were real persons, some of whose works yet remain, and their influence on poets who succeeded them is yet more important than their poetic remains. The adventures recorded of them in the following stories rest on the same authority as other narratives of the age of fable, that is, of the poets who have told them. In their present form, the first two were translated from German, Arion from Schlegel and Becus from Schiller. Arion was a famous musician and dwelt in the court of Periander, king of Corinth, with whom he was a great favourite. There was to be musical contest in Sicily, and Arion longed to compete for the prize. He told his wish to Periander, who besought him like a brother to give up the thought. "Pray stay with me," he said, "and be contented. He who strives to win may lose." Arion answered, "A wandering life best suits the free heart of a poet. The talent which a god bestowed on me I would fain make a source of pleasure to others, and if I win the prize, how will the enjoyment of it be increased by the consciousness of my widespread fame?" We'll leave it at that, otherwise we'll just go on and on. This is a reading for you. Okay, Taurus, let's shuffle these cards up. I've already done that, and let's have a look at your overarching energies, current energies around you today. Split that deck. 1, 2, 3. Overarching energies for Taurus. We have wonderful Princess of Wands. You know, you may well be feeling this great surge of breaking out, breaking free. You know, in the sense of wanting to express more fully. I mean this in terms of, I think of this really myself in terms of creative output, creative sort of expression, or even, you know, expressing those sort of deeper emotions that are in there as a way of sort of burning out the old in order to bring in the new. There's a purification about this card, and this is in your overarching energies at the moment. Position of choice here, we have another Princess of Cups. It's in some way you're in a level of beginner's mind. I do see it in terms of expression of emotion through will. There's a nice balance here, Taurus, at the moment for you. Princess of Cups, very dreamy, very Neptunian, very much a source of the muse, speaking of poetry, speaking of music and art. It could be for some Taurians out there that there's it's been a long time where you've wanted to, you know, to maybe get something down on paper, or, you know what I mean? Like, Princess of Cups is very dreamy, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know. Traits for ease, we've got the 9 of Wands. It would indicate, you know, if there has been in the past, sorry, that's a lawnmower man. If there has been in the past a default mechanism that stops you from from expression in the creative sense. This indicates to me to sort of, there's a suppression here somewhere, a suppression of will, a suppression of being able to express that. In the past, I'm not saying that is the current sort of thing, but traits for ease here. So we need to be aware of that. We all have this. We all have, the Nine of Wands can be a self-saboteur, and we all have that at various times in our lives. So it's sort of a direction just to be aware of that. You don't have to embody that archetype as a default mechanism. Lovely Taurus here. Moving forward, we will clarify. Moving forward, we have this beautiful infusion of information with the Tower. We get to break things down in order to build them, in order to rebuild them again. In this overarching energy position with this Princess of Wands, there is a purification of sorts going on in this card. We see the flaming altar, the flaming roses on that altar. And we see this princess getting rid of this, well, not necessarily getting rid of the beast, but overcoming that which has held her back in the past. And I do see this, with this Nine of Wands, the saboteur. We're kind of blasting through that, Taurus, which is amazing. And because of that, we get this great insight, this clarity, this ability to create something fresh and something new. So it's pretty amazing. I'll just see moving forward. Yeah, moving forward. We have the Eight of Discs, a card of artwork, of just, it does remind me of someone getting back into something that they love and just chipping away. We don't have to be a Mozart or a Picasso, Frida Kahlo, whatever it is, to begin with. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just, there's a beginner's mind here, which is your friend at this time. So I think that's really good. Eight of Discs, it's protecting that too. It's protecting that. You don't have to tell people what you're doing or what you're embarking upon or anything like that. So it's really good, Taurus. Let's see. I guess I do see it as a creative sort of pursuit of sorts, but it could be anything about sort of overcoming that which has held you back. Let's clarify the Princess of Cups, please. Overarching energy for Taurus at this time. Overarching energy. Possibly, yeah, overcoming something. We have the Five. Sorry about that. We have the Five of Cups. We understand what this is. We understand it within ourselves. Disappointment here, melancholy. We know what it is. And we know with that we have a choice to shift a perspective, to turn around and see, yeah, well, actually, we've got two full cups behind us. This is a card of a shift in perspective in this reading. I do see it as that. A shift in perspective, actually on the most basic yet difficult level. A shift in perspective in terms of how you see yourself, Taurus. Choices here with the Princess of Cups, this gorgeous muse. Get one more card. Princess of Cups, please. Princess of Cups. We get three cards actually coming out for that. Glorious Princess. Taurus, we get, to begin with, the King of Swords. Very can be a bit brutal sometimes. I mean, in the sense of being a great, a sort of a great intellect, a great critic, actually, this king, but also cuts through the crap, I guess. It could be elements of yourself. It could be elements of just being discerning when it comes to this Princess of Cups. We don't necessarily, being an earthy creature, Taurus, we don't necessarily want to be swept away, because there are illusions within this princess. It's quite a complex card. They all are. Nevertheless, it is a card of the muse, of wonderful imaginations. So we're keeping a sort of balance here on that. But the other two cards that came out, we have the Eight of Cups, where we leave what has been our work focus in some ways, you know. What has been our focus, we leave in order to find those two cups. We see that again here. Overarching energies, change in perspective. We know there are two cups here. In the Eight, we go looking for those two, because Eight doesn't cut it anymore. And it is kind of interesting, because it's sort of like well, obviously everything's a metaphor, isn't it? But metaphor for mental attitude. You know, we're dealing with eights here. A shift in two eights, right? Disc, cup. We're dealing with a shift in perspective here in terms of what we see, possibly, of what we see. We want to focus on in terms of work, or we shift our focus in terms of what we see work to be. And that's emotional as well as just physical. So it's quite interesting, Taurus. And with that, I get carried away. We have the Empress, beautiful, nurturing card. Remember, you know, consummate mother figure. Remember to nurture thyself. Seems to be a very strong theme at this time, and in these other readings is nurture thyself. This is something that we often forget. Traits for ease here. Ditch that nine of wands. Very defensive card, simply through habit. Can we clarify that? We have the Page of Cups, another cup, a kind of consort in many respects to the princess. This is a small offering. I see it as you offering yourself something here. A small step in a particular direction. This is what I see that to be. And it can be in relation to this saboteur. It's small steps get you where you want to go. So the smallest act, the smallest thing can be of great importance on the road. And if it is on the road to ditching a habit, that's a really wonderful thing. Small steps, incredibly important. Moving forward with the Tower, please. The Taurus. Tower. New beginnings. Potential for new starts. New insight. All of that. You're opening whatever's going on, Taurus, and if I didn't say that to begin with, do check out your rising sign, moon, Venus, and Jupiter, I suppose, if you wanted to. With the Tower, this breaking down, this infusion of new insight, of new information, we have two cards. what I see this to be is that you're basically in the process of opening up all your options. We have the Seven of Cups, a card of assessment. We see all the options here. There's a lot of potentials. There's a lot of choice, and we need time to figure out what's going to work for us. What's got legs, I guess you could say. But with that, with the Four of Cups, we start to see not only what we have to offer, but we start to see opportunity in coming to us in a way that we haven't recognized before, because it hasn't been familiar to us, Taurus. So this is really good. We often get used to, in some ways we can be blind to offerings coming to us. So this is a wonderful thing. You've got a lot of options, a lot of choice, and you're opening the door a lot wider to your ability to accept these opportunities coming through. That is what the Tower is doing for you, Taurus, whatever this Tower is for you. Now we've got a couple of cards face down, so this is pretty good. You know, it's a tangent shift. It's a you know, you're altering your position on the wheel, as it were. Journey map deck. Wow, and could it not be more tuned into this? Here we get eruption. In my mind, this card was similar to the Tower. It's like we often hear the rumblings of it before it happens. We certainly know that after all the ash and dust settles, that there's some amazing things that come from this great pressure valve release and eruption. We see obsidian and its beauty, its strength, its reflection. Amazing. Brian Froud, Pixie and Fairy, could you not get any better? Whatever choices you're making, whatever moves you're making, in whatever zone that is in your life, we have this beautiful, glorious, shimmering curtained doorway. Now you can't do any wrong. You can't do any wrong. Doesn't quite make sense, does it? You can't make a wrong choice here with this beautiful fairy godmother. We all need one sometimes, Taurus. And at this current time, she's really giving you the goods here, and she's backing you up all the way. So I think that's wonderful, Taurus. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you around the full moon time, but enjoy this week and take good care, Taurus. Okay, cheery, bye.